Welcome to Disability Clinic, where we break down medicine and healthcare one dysfunction at a time. I'm your host, Dr. Van, and I got the chance to speak with an amazing person. He's my guest tonight. He's a very talented writer, public speaker, and actor. He's appeared on Drunk History in one of my favorite episodes, and he is the star of the film Becoming Bulletproof. I am so excited to share this conversation with you. Please welcome Mr. Ajani A.J. Murray. Welcome to the show, AJ. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
So when you're meeting new people, how do you normally describe yourself?
I guess I would lead off to say, I'm an extrovert, an extreme extrovert. I really love people. I really love conversation. I would just describe myself as like a really friendly person, a person who's into a lot of different things, a lot of adventure. I'm a foodie. I love food. I love to travel.
What do you tell people when they ask you about your disability?
So it really depends. If you're a real little kid, I'll just say I got really sick as a baby. Depending on, how old you are, I'll go into the lack of oxygen and not being able to breathe and being sick with all these different things. But I'm a quadriplegic spastic and I have cerebral palsy. Quad, so all four limbs are affected, and the spastic part comes in is because I have really intense spasms. How it directly impacts me is I need assistance with just about everything. So feeding, getting dressed, bathing, I had to have my mom connect us online. My mom and my sisters. My mom's name is Cynthia. My sister's name are Desiree and Secret. So I'm very fortunate to have a really, really good family.
Huge shout out to your family, Cynthia, Desiree, and Secret. What career path have you chosen?
I'm an actor, and I've been acting on stage ever since I was a teenager, and I've always wanted to do movies, but the opportunity didn't come about for me to do camera until Becoming Bulletproof.
Becoming Bulletproof was your breakthrough film. Was it weird transitioning from theater to the big screen?
And it definitely got me out of my comfort zone because I was surprised at how much I was afraid of the camera, but also I kind of felt like I had this dual pressure because not only was I doing a movie for the first time, but they were like, oh yeah, we're doing a documentary and you're going to be the subject. But I found out that a doc was happening and that they were really going to spotlight me. I found that out when I got there. I just want to let people know it is an ensemble piece. So it's not just all AJ all the time, but I'm sort of the through line of the film, I guess. Even though I always wanted to be on screen, I was surprised to know how scared I was because the camera is right in your face. I had to get very used to and very comfortable with having a camera always on me and a mic always on. And when people push me out, I got to make sure that I don't get the mic cords in my chair. I definitely had anxiety, but it was all fun.
What was the best part of your experience on Becoming Bulletproof?
Well, definitely an up was getting an opportunity to be a part of a documentary feature that has been in a lot of film festivals, and it was also on Showtime for 2 years.
Aside from being the through line in an award-winning documentary, what other hats do you wear?
So I'm an actor, but I'm also an advocate, and I want to spend the rest of my life beating the drum of people with disabilities and all aspects of media. We're more than just an emotional, inspirational plot to make you feel good.
You make an excellent point. It reminds me of a TED Talk from 2014 where Stella Young coined the term inspiration porn. I'll link it in the description. Why have you chosen to dedicate your life to disability advocacy?
We represent 20% of the population, but we're less than 2% on screen. It's getting better, but we have a lot of work to do. They're just frankly a large part of the media that we're not a part of. And so sometimes one of the things that I always said is, yes, I know I'm a human being. Yes, I know that I'm real and I'm loved by my community and friends. But oftentimes, from a societal standpoint, I feel invisible. I feel like, for a large part, because of lack of media presence and society at large, I just feel like we don't matter. We just got out of a big election. We're not even a part of the discussion. Nobody's talking about disability on Meet the Press or Face the Nation or in the news. We are voting. Why can we do vote? But we're people don't even actively campaign to try to get us.
What are some other ways people with disabilities face underrepresentation in society?
I bet if you would go out to an average person on the street and sort of do a disability survey, not a lot of people would know that over 60%, in some places I've heard 80, but 60 to 80% of our population is unemployed. And if this were the case in non-disabled society, there would be an uproar.
Let's look at some statistics from the Department of Labor. So yes, barely 18% of people with disabilities are employed, which does mean up to 80% of people with disabilities aren't working. But out of those people with disabilities who can and want to work, the actual unemployment rate is 12.6%, which is still significantly higher than the unemployment rate for people without disabilities, which is only 7.9%. This means that even when someone with a disability is more than able to and willing to work, they are still 50% more likely to be unemployed than someone without a disability. Definitely cause for an uproar. AJ, do you think this is a result of discrimination?
One time, one of my friends didn't disclose that she had a disability, and she got several job offers. And, she did another round of inquiries, and she mentioned that she was disabled. No job offers, or sometimes the job is taken away only because of the notion that people with disabilities don't know how to work, can't work, and can't be in society. That's part of the reason why there is a tragedy narrative to disability, because a lot of people say, if I'm disabled, or if I have a child that's born with a disability, or if I acquire a disability, you can have the mindset that my life is over, that I'm not going to have a good life. But that's certainly not the case. And there are a lot of different aspects and different factors to this.
Do you see an overarching theme behind the many misconceptions about people with disabilities?
Oftentimes, they struggle with disability, not necessarily because of the disability in itself. It's not because of the disability, it's because of society.
You bring up a great point about the social model of disability, which is the concept that people are more disabled by barriers in society than they're disabled by their physical or psychological impairments. How can we as a society start to change this?
A lot of us in the advocacy community and disability community really drive home the message of inclusiveness, but also universal design. That is the idea, the simplest idea. You can look it up even further if you guys want to know information. But the simplest idea is that, like, everything is accessible for all. And, like, if you make it accessible for not just people with disabilities, but you'll find out it ends up helping a lot of people in the community.
I'll put a link to a great website on universal design in the description below. How do you think society will eventually come to embrace universal design and accessibility for all?
One of the ways that I think is certainly gonna help that and submit that is certainly legislation. We got a lot of people always working on the legislative side, always people voting and advocating. But I really believe if there was more representation of all kinds of disabilities, and you would actually see disability, life, and humanity reflected on screen, then we would make our way to a universal society where the playing field is truly equal. Like, we'll have true equity, but I believe people need to see it. We cannot discount the power of the media and the power of screen. And there's so much that television has to offer.
Can you give us an example of how television changed society?
So in the 80s, there was The Cosby Show and A Different World. A Different World showed HBCU. And as a result of that, like, I don't have the specific numbers, but as a result of that, college applications, people getting accepted to HBCUs went through the roof. Why? Because people saw it on television. So sometimes what is fiction on screen, big and small, can very much become a real, impactful reality.
So from the mid-'80s to the end of A Different World in 1993, American higher education grew by 16.8%, according to the New York Times. During that period, HBCUs grew by 24.3%, which was 44% better than all of higher education. So you're saying that art doesn't just reflect society, art can influence society?
Art can do what policy can. Art makes policy palpable, you know? Art is able to connect to the emotions and personal and personality side of things. Like, a lot of us aren't gonna understand legislative policy, but you'll understand it if the need is illuminated in a television show or a movie.
Where can we see and hear more of you in the media?
I was a guest co-host and a guest producer on Read My Mind radio podcast, and that's Thomas Reed. We did the subject of being young, black, and disabled. There's so many different topics, and it's a really, really good show. Even if you're not blind, check it out, because it talks about blindness, but also other intersectional things that have to do with disability. My other podcast co-host is Cheryl Green, and she has a podcast called Pigeonhole. The next film that I'm a part of and that Zeno is doing is Best Summer Ever, and it's a love story musical. Most of our films were short films, but this film, Best Summer Ever, is our first feature film. And so it's a big musical with over 60 people. So it's people with and without disabilities. And it should be on your streaming platforms in April.
I'll put a link to the trailer in the description. The music sounds amazing.
Yeah, the music is incredible.
AJ, I've learned so much from you. It's been an honor having you on as my first guest. Will you please come back and share more with us?
I would love to be back. And just any way you want me to help, I would love to help. But also, it's an opportunity for me to learn as well. I want to share, and I want to give, but I also want to learn. And I want to connect us all together, because at the end of the day, we all have different cultures and different colors, and that's okay. And that's certainly to be magnified and celebrated. But at the core, we're a part of the human race. And we're human. So, I want to do my best to be the best human in spirit I can be.
AJ, you are definitely one of the best human beings I've ever met. If you want to connect with AJ through social media, his Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook are linked in the description. If watching this video inspired you to have more conversations like this, hit the like button and subscribe to This Ability Clinic. That's our show, everybody. Thanks for watching.
This will have to be edited out, but I forgot to ask you, do you want me to call you Dr. Stephanie? Or so right now we're watching Scrubs. My other favorite movie is Ghostbusters.